classic shit. The train leaving the station. We ain't got but one way to go. Let's get it.
From the beginning, be the latest in the flyers. Chase fantasy desire.
Okay.
On your own like a renegade. When you're broken and getting paid, then the love don't reciprocate. Down chick, yeah, head on the interstate. Come home to a meal on a dinner plate. All she gotta do is support him and make him great. Done been through hell and back, I ain't never break. Affiliated with the real, we don't do the fake. Need an escape, need something to feel. If you want loyalty, don't renege on the deal. We from the hood, where everybody likes us to kill.
From the hood.
Grew up in public housing, now we got fancy clothes and houses. Life ain't about nothing but skirts and blouses. Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action. Grew up in public housing, now we got fancy clothes and houses. Life ain't about nothing but skirts and blouses. Panties get wet and it's time for action. When I get in the booth, hope I'm speaking to you. Everything that I'm saying, I hope it's reaching to you. It's a blueprint of a life to help you get to the truth. Been hated on, living proof, been on edge, came through fires, heart desire. Since when they been wearing wires, public defender, you better not have no priors. I ain't dealing with no liar, that's real. On my own, dancing in the field full of daffodils. Me and my homies been fly and we dressed to kill. Had 3 major offers for a record deal, and I got my heart broken for trying to feel, but it made me cold as ice. I'm so chill. Grew up in public housing, now we got fancy clothes and houses. Life ain't about nothing but skirts and blouses. Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action. Grew up in public housing, now we got fancy clothes and houses. Life ain't about nothing but skirts and blouses. Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action. Grew up in public housing, now we got fancy clothes and houses. Life ain't about nothing but skirts and blouses. Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action. Grew up in public housing, now we got fancy clothes and houses. Life ain't about nothing but skirts and blouses. Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action.
Action, action, action.
Panties get wet and it's time for action.